welcome everybody. Thank you so much for this opportunity you give us to share together this information, this session. Today's topic is methodology for evaluating and measuring MILCities in North America, Asia, Latin America, and the Caribbean. And today we have estimated speakers such as Dr. Jose Manuel from China. He is a professor at the University of Saint Joseph in Macau. We have also Dr. Yetunde Ayebolo from Nigeria. She is a professor at the Department of Mass Communication and at Qualitative University, Ibadan. And we have Dr. Violeta Ketman from Serbia. She is a professor at the Higher School of Communication in Belgrade. You are welcome. And we were waiting for Dr. Arusheva Shiram of India. He is a professor at the Department of Nature and Science at Anna University. And thirdly, we are waiting for Dr. Yetunde Egubesa Omede from Fami Dale State College from United States of America. Welcome everybody to our webinar on this very topic. And we are excited to have you join us for this important discussion on how different regions are approaching the evaluation and measuring MILE initiative in their cities. So in this session, we will talk about many topics, many aspects of this session. And before we continue, let me give the floor to Professor Felipe, the co-leader of MILCities in the world at the UNESCO Alliance. Professor Felipe, you are welcome. You have the floor.
Thank you so much, dear Professor Emmanuel Comiconaco. It's my pleasure to be here, of course, in this special session, methodologies for evaluating and measuring MILCities in North America, Africa, Asia, Europe, Latin America, and the Caribbean. Dear friends and colleagues, together with the Dr. Emmanuel, leader of the MILCities in Canada and Africa of the UNESCO MIL Alliance, we invite you to participate in this special webinar. We are honored to have here as distinguished speakers and colleagues sharing your values, insights, and knowledge. Dr. Jose Manuel Simoes from the University of Saint Joseph in Macau, China, from Portugal and China. Dr. Yetunde, lecturer at the Department of Massa from Nigeria. Dr. Violeta Ketman, Higher School of Communication in Belgrade, Serbia. Dr. Arucheva Sriram, Department of Media and Science and Anna University from India. And finally, Dr. Yetunde Omede from Farmingdale State College, United States. Today, we have the challenge of new hybrid ecosystems, digital and physical, of course, with artificial intelligence. But how can we evaluate the environment with metrics of critical thinking that helps develop our cities from a humanistic perspective? We in this webinar, we got not all the answers, but we got good questions based on MILCities indicators and metrics developed by our team of researchers. This webinar explores comprehensive approaches to assessing media and information literacy cities in urban areas, in urban space around the world. We got here people from North America, Africa, Asia, Europe, and Latin America, and Caribbean. We got here good experts and good ideas, and in my opinion, of course, good knowledge. But that's my initial words. Thank you for your presence here. Thank you to the audience present, and of course, you got the floor.
Thank you so much, Professor Felipe, for your introduction. We are very happy to share this session with our colleague, expert, coming from 4 continents. It is a special session today. And before we go ahead, we give the floor to Professor Jose Manuel, who will speak first because he has some duty to do after. After his communication, we continue with the normal order. Professor Jose Manuel, you have the floor. I don't know if you have something to share, so I will give you the opportunity to share your screen.
Thank you, Dr. Emmanuel Konaku.
Yeah.
I would like to salute Dr. Alclushaven, Dr. Violeta, Professor Philippe, Dr. Yetung, again, Dr. Emmanuel. It's a pleasure to be with you here in Macau. China is a little late, and I'm really sorry. I need to leave, like Professor Emmanuel said, I need to leave after my talk, but I would like to take this opportunity to show you my willing to share my informations and my, let's say, knowledge to all of you. So if you have questions, if you have remarks, if you want to give us your feedback, please send me an email. It will be a pleasure for me to stay in contact with you. And I'm really sorry that afterwards I have to leave because I have an important meeting after also this important meeting for us. And I would like to start this communication by telling you that we are ready, let's say, to prepare the world citizen for their future. And we must focus intensely on forming a humanistic and holistic set of values. Ethics, as you know, is the domain of philosophy that seeks to determine the purpose of human life and societies and serves to attain it in a theoretical way, but also practically. It has as its object the judgment to differentiate between good and evil, just and unjust, sustainable and unsustainable. Thus, ethics relies on promulgating and applying standards of good habits and virtues. My communication will try to explain how MILCities can contribute to human excellence and towards ethicals of common good, nourishing just, harmonious and sustainable societies, and peace. All people everywhere are not only cognitive subjects, but also moral subjects. By practical reasoning, they realize the dimensions of responsibility of the human person and as a moral being subject to freedom and self-determination. It is by morality that citizens affirm themselves as full members of the world, allowing themselves to be free from determinism and enter self-determination in the sense of the Kantian affirmation of the primacy of practical reason. Man's fate is playing out in history within a specific horizon, not merely of what is, but of what should be and must be. If citizens want to act morally correct, well, he or she must consider his and her duty to respect the other. And when I mention the other, I write other with a capital O. The other is part of us. To act morally well is to act for and consider this value of respect. All behavior is based on respect for this universal, objective, moral law, intrinsic to all consciousness, necessarily imposing itself in the form of duty, which Kant calls the need for action for respect to the law. But still, behind it, seeing it as an exemplar realization of values and virtues such as integrity and truthfulness. The categorical imperatives can be summed up in the following expression. Act in such a way that the maximum of your action can always be a universal principle of your conduct, and always act in such a way that you treat humanity, both in your person and the other, as an end and not just as a means. Our action should be balanced in a symbiosis between reason, will, and emotions. This act can make the spirit pure and attentive, directing the realization of ideas towards the common good and universal as a whole. Ethnicities, cultures, worldviews, and religions bring hearts and minds ever close together. We are a person, and I'm going to quote Descartes. We are a person separate from others, and because of this, our interests are somehow different. We must nevertheless think that we could not subsist alone, and that we are indeed one of the parts of the universe, and more particularly, one of the parts of this earth, one of the parts of this state, of this society, of this family, and that the interests of the whole, of which we are part, always overlap with those of the particular person. Descartes, 1645. Education and pedagogy play fundamental roles in the formation of values. The role of ethics must be to defend a morality of honesty, respect, and openness for people. To develop and contribute to the ethics of common good, the formation of values, and the defense of core values, giving harmonious societies, it is essential to establish ties, and this is one of the reasons we are here together today. Recently, when I had the pleasure of meeting Felipe Chibás Ortiz, my dear colleague here in Macau, China, he visited my university less than 1 month ago, 15 days ago. I had the opportunity to learn what MILCities is about and their incredible work worldwide. When discussing methodologies for evaluating and measuring MILCities worldwide, we need to understand how MILCities guide and protect people. Guide people to be actors in the artificial intelligence revolution and promote social inequality, urbanization, and mobility challenge. We need to understand the technocratic and technological vision of solutions through smart cities, public policies, and education, how they form better citizens and help people to be more aware of the danger of being manipulated, including by the social media and by media in general. We need to open, like I used to say, we need to have an eagle eye in order to protect ourselves from manipulation. So, because of this danger of being manipulated, we need to manage a vision and create multidisciplinary and integrative solutions, a vision to build sustainable cities, smart cities, healthy cities. How can we be socially innovative and create solutions with strategic sustainability? Understanding the diversity, the more vulnerable groups, women, different ethnicities, indigenous people, functional diversity, immigrants, to protect people from xenophobic ways of acting. We need to understand how the MILCities invest in action and research and implement real solutions for citizens, combining skills and the practical convergence among academics, among educators, journalists, actors, musicians, artists, startups, technology-based companies. We all together, we can contribute to build a better society, to build a society of fraternity, of values that MILCities is based, and we can understand how it is essential for citizens to participate more. How is essential a good governance, intercultural and interfaith dialogue, a sustainable development, prioritizing empowerment over protectionism for vulnerable groups, promoting cultural and linguistic diversity, respect, organic empowerment of every citizen, educating critical and creative thinking, sustainable valuing ecology and effectivity, solving the manipulation of the information, understand the role and functions of information sources, the gatekeepers, the watchdogs, find and evaluate information critically, analyze it, be aware, open the eagle eye to understand in order to protect ourselves from risks, analyze and share, promote intercultural and interreligious dialogue, freedom of expression and information, tolerance, sustainable development, and peace. MILCities is a home of new opportunities, like our dear Professor Felipe mentioned when he was in Macau. He quote, and I'm quoting him, MILCities is a home of new opportunities and a space for coexistence and convergence. He also said, we need to go an extra mile to adapt new technologies of the modern times, taking as priority the concentration of efforts in the digital world, which is or should be a global trend. Let me quote Plato. He says that a just society is a society in which each individual performs the function for which he is prepared, which make it necessary for each individual to fulfill his established functions. It is the excellence of the management of actions by rationality and in putting the senses into the scene that there is a human virtue, a disposition acquired by reason, but also by will. To reason and to make voluntary choices that can be considered virtuous and meritorious. This means that Karl Otto Appel, a sociologist and communicator from Austria, he explains that there is a room for people to discuss and reach agreement on concrete things, just and unjust, sustainable and unsustainable, serving morality in the public space, and especially not to overlook or exclude those who are left out, like minority groups and positions, but to try hard in finding ever more inclusive and comprehensive solutions. I truly believe that is precisely what MILCities is doing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Professor José Manuel, for your great communication. It is very, very interesting to hear you because you have shared many knowledge with us. So before you leave, I will give the floor to Professor Felipe for his comment. Thank you so much for it.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Simoes, and thank you so much, of course, Professor Emmanuel Comiconacou. Dr. Simoes present a very interesting focus, the focus of Professor ethics aspects and citizen of the citizen, and the focus in the affective aspects are very important to build a human city, a real human city. We need, of course, the protection of the citizen, like he said. We need, of course, to understand the smart cities, sustainable cities, educational cities, but we need, of course, the integration with interdisciplinary approach of these different visions. The smart cities is to help cities. I like so much of this expression, Dr. Simoes. Of course, this is a new vision, and this is an innovation, and we need innovation to build better cities. Thank you so much, Dr. Simoes, and we keep in touch in other times to continue this discussion. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much, Dr. Felipe, Dr. Yetund, Dr. Violeta, and all the colleagues. It was a nice and my pleasure to be with you today. Hope to meet you in Macau, China, or at your places or somewhere else, and wish you a great seminar, and keep in touch. Bye-bye to you all.
And we're waiting for you, Professor Simoes, in Havana, Cuba, in January.
My pleasure, and hopefully I will be there. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. Okay.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. Bye. Okay, thank you, Professor Felipe. We have finally Dr. Yetunde Omed from United States of America. You are welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's a great pleasure for us to share this session, this floor with you today, and we are happy to have you, to hear you.
Yes, thank you
So,
so much.
Yeah. Now we'll give the floor to Dr. Violeta Ketman from Serbia to give us her communication. After we'll hear Dr. Omed from United States of America. And after we have Dr. Professor Siram from India. Professor Siram, you are welcome.
Thank you, Emmanuel Kwame.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yes,
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
yeah, and we finish with Dr. Yetunde from Nigeria. So, Dr. Violeta from Serbia, you are welcome. You have the floor.
Thank you, Emmanuel. It's my pleasure to be with you, all of you, in this meeting, to be here with you, and to share my experience of the topic with you. I hope you will find my presentation interesting and inspired for further reflection in this topic. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Violeta Ketman. This is my pronoun. I am assistant professor, PhD of Arts and Media and the Higher School of Communication in Belgrade, and author many textbooks and monographies about critical thinking and media pedagogy. And please, may I share my presentation?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. I will start this presentation by referring to this slide that shows the basis of media literacy and indicators according to UNESCO's assessment. And I was led to this graph by Professor Chibás when I spoke at an online lecture in front of his students in Sao Paulo a few years ago, for which I'm grateful to him. This scheme should be used as a reminder of all areas in which the presence of media and information literacy should be checked again and again. But who are the citizens of the MILCities we want to create? I think that it's a really very important question, because our roles in digital era, are different. Yes, it is. Just I must stop my slideshow.
Yeah.
And again, yes.
Sorry, but your slides are wonderful. Repeat
yes,
again,
of
please.
course. It's creative because I'm on my holiday now. I got so much time for you. For everything. Yes.
Thank you so much for
yes,
your kindness.
Yes, you got a cat, a man, everybody. Yeah. But who are the citizens really? After the corona pandemic, the ever faster technological development and the announcement of unanswered questions that come to us with the advent of artificial intelligence, the conclusion, feeling of uncertainty and anxiety of citizens all over the world are growing. Because of this, citizens have lost absolute confidence in almost all aspects of life. There is less and less trust in information sources, politicians, decisions, institutions, expertise, and professionalism when it is a question of everyday. Citizens are left to themselves. Each of us became some kind of expert on all important uses overnight. Although we all differ according to the culture we come from, historical and social circumstances, there are certain starting points for determining the presence of media literacy regardless of our origin and geopolitical futures of the space we come from. I think that the indicators and methodology for determining media and information literacy must have some basic points and that coincide and that do not depend on evolution nor on the development of civilization. This means that the basis for recognizing media literacy is the same in traditional and modern media, both in the 18th and in the 21st century. And here is the unique MIL indicators that apply to all. If you see indicators at first, determining the credibility of the source, recognizing the strategy of manipulation, develop sensibility for recognizing violence of human rights without considering predictions and stereotypes in the environment. Of course, the essential and possible solution is education, formal and informal. And what about methodology? I think that it's a content analysis, first of all, but the next learning through many examples and case studies and work in workshops. The process of media content analysis should include several stages: identification of the research problem and formulation of the hypothesis, determining the research material, usually a representative sample, then development of measuring instruments, determination of the unit of analysis, selection of categories for analysis, and their classification. The smallest part of media content is the unit of analysis. And I think it can be a photo in the newspaper text, then the position of the title or the linguistic stylistic approach of the influencer in the content he edits. Then content coding, classification of analysis units into categories. For example, the initial category of media content analysis is the source from which the content originates, the date of publication, or the title of the media content. Of course, it's a data analysis, statistical code, quantum analysis, and interpretation of results. Quantitative content analysis measures the frankness of variables or subcategories in the investigated media content. For example, let the analyzed media content be an average news program on public service TV. Variables or subcategories could not even be reporting on the economy, on world events, on politics, on sport, culture, etc. Quantitative analysis is significant because it provides a picture of the existing presence of different information in the media content. And this is example, informative TV show of Radio Television Serbia. It's mainstream, time January 2024. And you can see 46% Republican political elections, 21% world politics, 14% economy, 7% sports, 7% education, and just 5% culture. I think this is the same in more countries. Where is economy on the first position, of course. And of course, an important question on this webinar: how does ethnographic research contribute to understanding media consumption and community engagement within MILCities? The theory and practice of ethnographers is the subject of contemporary methodological discussions, which is on the trail of renewed interest in qualitative methodology. there is an increasing presence of ethnographic research within a wide interdisciplinary scope due to the unlimited possibilities to solving various problems. Ethnography is synonyms with a set of methods that includes a direct and social context and an abundance of written materials related to the recording and representation or of irreducible human experience. Thus, ethnographic research provides multiple interpretations of reality as well as a multitude of alternative interpretations of data to the research itself, providing a basis for recognizing the breadth and complexity of social days and connections. I think the dominant methods used to achieve these are observation and observation with participation, different types of interviews with an emphasis of the ethnographic interview, which finally defines the special forms of recording, approach and analysis of the results, and ethnographic research. In improving media literacy, ethnographic research can provide us with information about the reception of media content, but also about the way the media relate to information. We know today that an indicator of media literacy is the disclosure of the fact that which news was not published in which media, even though it deserves its due to its importance for the general public. Also, the relationship between media and ownership and ethics in the media is significant. Ethnographic research can also help in this, I think. And then our roles in the digital era are definitely changing, absolutely. Our conclusion is that the starting point in developing students' media literacy should be the ethical dimension, distinguishing between good and evil in the real world. Distinction is really important here, emphasizing the importance of true noble behavior, respect for the needs of other people, nurturing humanistic ideas. Firmly established moral principles will ensure moral behavior independent of the technological and cultural context of the historical moment. A proper upbringing and education, institutional and non-institutional provided, will develop students' responsibility for their own behavior in the virtual world, respect for others, awareness in the dangers or risky behavior on the internet, and society as a whole will come closer to Eric Fromm, of course, ideal of a healthy society. And I think this is the end of my presentation. I hope you enjoyed in it and you'll be able to find something interesting about it. I'm looking forward to your ideas and comments. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Violeta, for your communication. Yeah, we have heard it with a good intention. So we have highlight the MILCities indicator as the basic of how we can analyze communication and information today. And you have also talked about the process of media content analysis. And in this session, we have focused your discussion on 6 points or aspects we can use to analyze information produced by people today. And to finish, you have also talked about ethnographic research and MILCities. And there, I have took one word, observation. Even though we have many kind of methodology, we can observe also to analyze information today. And you see that in the conclusion that we need to focus on ethical dimension of communication today, of information today, emphasize the importance of the truth, because we have today false information, and information it must be done for a good behavior, must respect each other. Thank you so much for this communication. Professor Felipe, I don't know if you have something to add before we give the floor to the next speaker.
Yes, I have. Is simple, my contribution. Well, thank you so much, Professor Violeta Keckman, for your contribution. Of course, we ever enjoyed your presentation, ever. And of course, your approach about methodology, about indicators, variables, and subcategories is fundamental for us, because we need this approach to reach the MILCities approach. Your presentation have many highlights, many points, important points about this. Thank you so much again for your presentation, and we continue to grow together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Felipe, for your highlight. So we are going to give the floor to, I must check my, okay. Yeah, Dr. Yetunde from United States of America. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here today. I apologize about the delay. I'm just getting off of a flight not too long ago, so having a little bit of just jet lag. But thank you, Professor Chibás, for inviting me to speak this morning. We met at the Triple Helix conference, and before I go into just introducing myself, the interesting thing about the UNESCO MILCities is that it is something that can definitely be intertwined in the triple helix theory, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But thank you, Emmanuel, Professor Emmanuel, for introducing me. So I am Dr. Yetunde Odubese-Omede. I'm a professor of global affairs and politics at the State University of New York. I'm also the director of the Office of Community and Civic Engagement at the State University of New York. And in that capacity, I serve a dual role, both as a faculty member and also as a higher education leader within the institution. So when I spoke with Professor Chibás, and he spoke a little bit about MILCities, and I thought it was a quite interesting of how this could be folded into the current areas of concentration and sort of research. Really, the triple helix theory is really the connection and the relationship between government, institutions of education, and also industry, and how that impacts the society to create innovation and also change. In addition to that, when we talk about the MILCities and people having information literacy and media literacy, and the importance that it plays in any societal development, right? In people understanding what the role of the media is, understanding what information literacy does, and how that gives people the ability to not only decipher or understand the information that they're receiving, but also to question it. That is extremely important when it comes to all of these relationships that work hand in hand in society with their own, agendas. In my undergraduate studies, I studied journalism and media studies, and I knew the importance of media in society and how it shapes the way we think, how it shapes what we see, how it shapes how we view other parts of the world, and oftentimes how that media in itself has its own agenda setting, right? Which may oftentimes not be, which people may not oftentimes understand. And then when it comes to information literacy, if people don't have high levels of information literacy, how are they able to decipher which information is correct? How are they able to question it? How are they able to add holistically to the information that is needed? So these are areas that are extremely important when it comes to the development and the progression of cities. And we can't really dissuade the fact that when it came to MILCities, I think it was in UNESCO in 2008 when this was, in a sense, first introduced and convened by experts at the headquarters in Paris. And the idea was really that MILCities was to provide a platform or enable people to show and make informed judgments as users of information and media. As well become skillful, creators and producers of the information that people do receive. So there's a two-prong. There's the people that's sitting on the other side that is receiving such information, and then there are the producers of the content of that information, which carries great responsibility. And we have seen that, certain information, depending on who the producers are, whether it be the government, whether it be industry, whether it be institutions of education, they all can vary and oftentimes do not stay in alignment with one another. And so it's really important that we increase the media literacy training, starting from institutions of education, right? Because the more we doubt the media or the more we question media, it just shows our level of information literacy, right? The more we're able to say, is this information that I'm receiving, is it congruent to what I know, what I have learned? And that starts really from a younger age. So the primary role is really important as institution of education. That is where individuals, in formal education. So now we have to also understand, how do we streamline those who do not have formal education and who are outside the formal process of education? How do we train them in media literacy training? Right? How do we ensure that people in rural areas are not left behind when technological advancements continuously take place? How do we continue to leverage that and keep them up to speed and up to date with the ever-evolving landscape of technological changes? So it's extremely important that we sort of figure out, how do we bridge that gap between those who have information and literacy training, or who are exposed to it, and those who do not. Because what will happen is that those are the people who will create messaging, and there's nothing that anyone who has not had that training can, in a sense, do about that. And so we don't want to be able to be the navigators and the creators of information, but yet leave a subset of our population out of understanding the information that we're trying to put out. So it's very important, to be able to train people to ask questions, right? To be able to read and also be able to understand what types of informations are being presented to them. And when we talk about information, it's not just television, right? We are talking about the various forms of technological advancements that produces information and media, from audio messages to photographs to video games to all various forms. And so this is quite important when we talk about innovation and when we talk about creating innovative landscaping. We cannot do this without having both spectrums and both people on board and understanding the importance of why MILCities play a really specific role and an important role in our society today, and how do we create them, right? We would want and hope that every city has the components of a MILCity, right? Every city has the components of media literacy or information literacy. And so how do we strive to do that? And so I do want to make sure that this is a robust conversation and sort of, lead the conversation and have it open so that we can continue to have discussions. And I enjoyed hearing the remarks from all of the participants who were on this platform today. And it's definitely added to my knowledge base about this topic as well. So thank you so much for having me and giving me the ability to share my remarks and thoughts about this discussion.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yetunde Ogbesan Omid from United States of America. Thank you so much for sharing this knowledge with us today. And immediately, I will give the floor to Professor Felipe for his comment. Professor Felipe?
Oh, thank you, Professor. Of course, Dr. Yetunde, your presentation is very synthetic and bring to us the focus in the role of the institutions and the different countries about this very important question. You speak about robots, conversations. You speak about different realities and different ecosystems. Of course, your knowledge is very important for us too, and we need your contribution for our books, for our articles, for the with this vision, with your vision. Thank you so much, and we let's continue to grow together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Felipe. Now,
Thank you.
We have Professor Siram from India. You have the floor, Professor. It is a great pleasure for us to hear you every time you are sharing the floor with us. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Manuel. Thank you, Philip.
Yeah.
And all other delegates today, Yetunda, Violeta, and a professor from China. Very good evening. Yes, first I am sharing my slide.
Yeah.
Here is good morning, Professor Arushaban.
Thank you, thank you. Actually, we are going. It is around 8:30 p.m. now. Yeah.
Now here
Yes.
at 12 here.
Yes.
Can you see the? Can you see my slide?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, actually, my previous speakers are well presented about what are the MILCities, how to measure, how to utilize the methods to do study about the MILCities. Especially Violeta presented about very good methodologies. She analyzed a lot of things. Also, Yetunda also presented well. Here I am going to present as my perception, what are the general things are there. I am not going to present any one of my research. It is a general thing, how we can analyze, how we can study, how we can utilize methods for various research related to MIL cities. So MMIL media and information literacy capable cities are there. Many countries now they are developed. They are developing cities like Felipe and Emmanuel. Everyone they are involving this kind of projects also. They are doing a lot of researchers. They presented. I referred many articles of Felipe. Also UNESCO papers, working papers, their concepts. They are presenting based on their references and according to our India and Asian countries, we can measure the MILCities based on these criteria. Number one is, what is MIL curriculum are available at school level, at college or university level. This is very important criteria because we are going to educate them in the area of MIL. Also, how the libraries are utilizing this MIL capability. Are they having books? Are they having all the information related to MIL? Are they following the MIL guidelines, norms provided by UNESCO or the particular nations? Then, how the media industries or organizations and media outlets and media platforms are available, are existing in the particular country? Are they following the MIL guidelines? Are they providing enough and necessary facilities or facilitate for each citizen, each people to access all the materials with the prescribed norms? Are they following all these things? Then archives. Each and every country, cities, we are having a lot of archives. The archives, the digital archives are also there. Also the traditional archives are also there. Now many traditional archives, they are also going digital mode. In Chennai itself, the government of Tamil Nadu, India, they are preparing a biggest archives. So these areas, these platforms, these organizations should follow some guidelines prescribed by the national and international agencies. Then only the people, they can access the original and perfect material, further information, further media. So these are the things are very, very important. Then how without internet penetration, no media is extending its penetration to the nook and corner of the society or country. So what is the internet penetration? What is the strength? These are the things are also very, very important in measuring, in evaluating the MILCities. Also, how the government departments are having all the things. Are they following MIL guidelines? Are they providing some information to the general public? Is there any rules, norms, or act, special act? In India, we are having the Right to Information Act. Right to Information Act. Through the act, the people can get the necessary authentic information from the governments, government departments, government agencies. So these are the measurement criteria. If you want to evaluate the some MILCities, if some organization want to measure Chennai city is one of the important city, like then Delhi, Mumbai in India, then like Asia, in many cities are there. How, if we want to evaluate the MIL capabilities of these cities, we have to take care of all these measurement criteria. If you are taking all these measurement criteria, we can get very good output. The output can help us to bring a new change or update or upgrade the situation or context. So how we can measure these methods? How can use these criteria? How can measure these criteria? As it is coming under social sciences, we can the major and popular methods. Number one is observation. Then observation can help us to identify where are the things are available, whether it is actually is there or not. We can see the first-hand witness. We can witness the things. Then document verification. For example, if you want to verify the RTA, Right to Information Act, how many people they are benefited of these things, we can check the data, the documents. Also, the internet penetration is there. We can check what is the document and data verification, what is the strength, what is the like that. Then interview and survey discussions. These are the methods can help us to get the accurate and authentic data for evaluating and measuring the MILCities in all the countries mostly. In India, they are not taking MILCities. They are working. They are evaluating all these things for some other purpose. But anyway, the MIL components criteria are involved in other subjects, other survey area or component. So these are the criteria and methods are very useful to evaluate the MILCities. Some of the researches are going on, not much level, not much bigger level, as Felipe and Emmanuel, they are doing in a bigger way. We are not doing, we are doing a smaller level. So these are my observation and perception about the evaluation of MILCities. In the future, we are going to study some depth aspect about the methods, about the MILCities. That time we are going to incorporate many criteria and survey tools and interview tools for gathering the first-hand data, primary data. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to present me.
Thank you, Professor Chiram from India. Thank you so much for your topic, how to measure information literacy capacity in cities. And you have highlighted many kind of methods or methodology we can use. First of all, you have shared with us that today we are using information and communication in the university, school, and college. So you have highlighted also how we can develop male university cities in our countries, and how the library can use information, and how major industry and organization also can use the platform, and how we can access, how people can access information. And you share with us the various methods we can use to measure information today, such as observation, document verification, interview, survey, and discussion. And you give us the example of India. So thank you so much for sharing this important information with us. I will give the floor to Professor Felipe to add something before we hear the last communication. After this, we'll open the floor to everybody. We have some question to ask. So thank you so much. Professor Felipe?
Thank you, Professor Dr. Emmanuel Comiconako. In your presentation, Dr. Arul, I like so much of many points, but especially, when you speak about how to build partnerships and how to assessment partnerships. This point is very innovator and very complex point. We need so much your research in this line, Professor, and how we can assessment or evaluate these relationships. This is very important. The relationships, for example, with the governments, with the other institutions, with the platforms, of course. This point is very important, and you bring to us different methods, different methodologies to build this. Thank you so much, Professor, and we can construct everything together, of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Philip.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Felipe, for your commentary and your contribution. Now, we are going to give the floor to Professor Yetunde. Today, she is not available, but she give us the opportunity to let her colleague to share her communication.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me here, sir.
Thank you.
My name is Adebusuyi Adedotun, and I'll be presenting on behalf of Dr. Yetunde Ayobolu, who is unavoidably absent due to some other assignments. So I'm sorry I won't be able to share my slide because I'm having some technical difficulties, but I will just speak on it. So today I'll be speaking on the methodologies for evaluating and measuring MILCities in Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean. Now, looking at the importance of media literacy, information literacy, we can say that media information literacy plays a very important role in the dissemination of information and how people accept information they've received. Now, there are some indicators that can be effectively adapted to reflect the unique sociocultural context of different regions. Now, these MIL indicators includes 13 basic indicators, which are the libraries, roads, city halls, health, culture, heritage, arts, education, association, media, artificial intelligence, environmental sustainability, and youth and elder development, then the integration metrics. Now, when we look at these 13 MIL indicators, these are indicators that tells us basic things that are needed for a city to be built for media information literacy. Now, when we look at road, this has to do with buildings and transportation, with mobility. Then we are talking about the city others, when we talk about public institutions and others, then we have the health, which is important. We have culture. Now, in this aspect, culture plays a very important aspect because we are talking about MIL in different cities, which includes Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean. Now, when we are talking, giving to these cities, now the culture determines the method in which would craft the messages and how people receive information at different regions is different, it varies. Now, what are some qualitative methodologies that we can use to measure media and information literacy in urban environments? Now, the first one I have here is the survey. We have focus group discussion, we have interview, observation, experiment, outcome mapping, systematic approach, user behavioral approach. We have the monitoring and evaluation approach. Then we have the correlation and the causal comparatives. Now, these different methodologies, they assist us in gathering and measuring how media information literacy has affected urban environment, the different ways at which they affect urban environment. Now, we also have, now, for us to carry out any form of research in media information literacy, we are going to use ethnography. Now, you know, we know that ethnography has to do with carrying out research within people's basic locations. Now, the reason for choosing this is that it will give us an insight to their cultural background, the cultural background of the African, the cultural background of the Latin American, and every other part of the world where these MIL cities are to be initiated. Now, ethnographic research also provides us insight into the cultural and social context in which participants lives in, work, allowing for development of information and media tailored to meet their specific needs. That is, ethnography gives us the idea about the need of the audience at a particular location. What media content should we dish out to these people? How does this content affect their religion? How does it affect their cultural background? Now, that is what ethnography helps us to determine. Moving forward, ethnography is also useful in learning firsthand about the behavior and interaction of people within a particular environment. That is, it helps us to understand how people relate to media content, how they assimilate media in different locations. And the last one on the importance of making use of ethnography is that it is an open and flexible method. That is, it gives us the power to go around to dig deep into the ethical and cultural background of our respondents. Now, why is community engagement crucial in the evaluation of MIL initiatives, and what are the effective participatory methods? Now, we are talking about community engagement. Community engagement has to do with how people in a community engagement in this context now has to do with how people in a particular area relate to media content they are exposed to. Now, for us to carry out good evaluation of MIL initiatives, we must understand how different communities engage with media, how different community assess, how they have different access to media, how these media shape their thinking, how it affects their relationship with others and the likes. Now, the first thing we have here is that identify with the cause. That is, we need to, for us to carry out any evaluation, we should be able to identify with the reason why we are carrying out this evaluation. Now, what is the cause of this evaluation? What are we planning to derive from carrying out this evaluation? Then we also have it. It also says that it is a collaborative process that empowers citizens to participate in decision making, ensuring their voices are heard and acted upon. Now, through community engagement, it's going to give the citizens the opportunity to air their voice, air their opinion about issues and the like. But without having proper idea about MIL, that is media information literacy, it will be difficult for them to voice out. It will be difficult for them to make their voice heard to the public or to the government while carrying out any decision that affects them. Now, some method we can use is the empower. That is, we give through MIL, people get empowered. They have the opportunity to speak up. They have the opportunity to hear their voice about opinions and decisions. The other one is collaboration and partnership. MIL would it will give them the opportunity to collaborate with media houses. So, okay, oh, you release something about a particular thing. No, we are not supporting that. This is what we feel it's happening. This is how it should be. Then we have involvement. That is, through it to give them a sense of being involved in the decision-making process. Now, the last item on the slide, on my slide here is in what ways does technological integration, such as digital platforms and social media analytics, enhance the assessment of MIL strategies across diverse urban landscape? Now, what we are looking at here is that technology keeps growing on daily basis, and thus we need to identify how it affects MIL strategies. So the first one is the wide range. Technology gives us large expanse of opportunity to meet or to speak with lots of people at the same time. Also, it's easy and faster when it comes to data collection, analysis, and presentation of results. It also gives the freedom of expression. With different social media platforms, people have the opportunity to express themselves easily. Then we have the continuous conversation. Through social media, conversations keep going and we keep developing on different conversations. Then we have a faster feedback and it is non-restrictive. That is, it is not restricted to a particular set of people and others. Then lastly, it fosters anonymity. Now that's for those that feel, oh, I don't want people to know about me. I don't want, now you can actually make your voice heard without people knowing who it's coming from. And I believe with the integration of technology, it will help to increase the reach and help to make the strategies of MIL more effective in our urban landscapes. Thank you very much for listening. I really appreciate the opportunity given to me to present this. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Femi Adebusi, for your communication. We have heard and learned so much from your presentation. You have highlighted many methods we can use to evaluate MI in our society today, and you focus on ethnography as one of the methods we can use today to analyze, because it is very simple and with this method, we can approach, we can go to see people in the village, in the place, so we can mobilize many data, so we can analyze the information. The time has gone away, but we ask you more 5 minutes to give the floor to everyone to ask a question. Before this, I will let Professor Felipe to comment.
Thank you so much, Professor Manuel.
Yeah.
I agree with you with your words, and I haven't anything to add with your opinion. Please continue with the discussion, please.
Thank you so much, Professor Felipe. We have here Dr. Yetunde Amel from United States of America, Dr. Yetunde, Dr. Violeta. Unfortunately, Professor Siram has gone away because his office was about to close the door. So if you have something to say or ask, it is the time. I know that we are very late today. Apologize for this. Dr. Yetunde from the United States of America. Dr. Violeta.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that the starting point would have to be a critical pedagogy, transformative criticism.
Yeah.
Which would emphasize the importance of education,
yes.
empathy among citizens, and sensitivity to undemocratic phenomena in society. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Violeta, for your contribution, your communication, and what you have shared today with us. Yeah, we are very late. I don't know whether Dr. Yetunde from United States of America is connected. Okay, so we are at the end of this session, and I don't know whether Mr. Femi has something to add. We are about to.
No, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Professor Felipe, before I give you the floor, I will highlight that we are very happy today to share this session with you. Whenever you are, it is our pleasure to be together, to grow together, MILCities project everywhere in the world. So tomorrow we can live in an ethical world where freedom is the key of our development. Thank you so much for sharing this moment for us. Great people from Serbia for us. Those who are living in Nigeria, Africa, thank you so much. Have a great day. Professor Felipe, you have the last word before you leave.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Yeah.
Of course, today was a very special session. We got today people for continents, and of course, different visions, different opinions, and different knowledge. Key topics include adapting MILCities indicators to local realities to ensure relevance and effectiveness in assessing MIL initiative. This webinar advocates for a balanced approach using quantitative methods such as in a large scale surveys, data analytics, and statistical analysis, but with qualitative analysis too. We got in these webinars many insights included, such as ethnographic research and case studies and others. Thank you for your wonderful contributions, my colleagues and friends. And of course, we need to grow together in this line, MILCities, Media and Information Literacy Cities. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much, Professor Felipe. Thank you so much, Dr. Violeta Kerman from Serbia. Thank you so much, Dr. Yetunde Ogubese from United States of America. Thank you, Dr. Yetunde Ayebu from Nigeria. Mr. Femi Adebusi, you are welcome. You are here together to grow. So for next time, you'll be invited to share again with us your knowledge. And we don't forget Mr. Francesco Gil, our attendees for this session. Thank you so much.